In this video, we're going to be talking about how to construct the posts that go along with our modular terrain system. Posts come in three different flavors. There is a form to fit on the corners of tiles. There are posts that will fit on the sides of tiles, connecting to two separate tabs. And then there are center posts, which will connect to four tabs, usually where multiple tiles intersect. For this demonstration, we're going to go through just corner posts, but they all assemble the same way. For this demonstration, I've got my snap blade knife. I've got a corkback metal ruler. I'll be using some white school glue to attach the tabs. And then I have some markers to help color in the edges. As with a lot of crafting, I'm going to start by scoring along the dotted lines. And very easy to score an entire column of posts simultaneously. I will just do one post for this demonstration. Once you've scored the pieces, we're going to cut out one full column of posts. And set the rest of this aside. And now I will separate the individual posts. And take this opportunity to trim off any excess. You'll notice that there is some white here at the edge of the tab. This is just where the glue is going to go to connect to the other side. But we will be cutting out these two slots here. This is where the walls will fit in. So I carefully cut these two long strips to remove this, and then cut the edge off here just to make it easier to slot the wall into place. If you're more comfortable using a ruler to do this, of course, go ahead. The next step here is to color in the edges of the post. And for that, here I'm going to use a light gray marker. Once all that is colored in, an optional step would be to ink the back of the posts to help darken this area so that once you make a tube out of this, the interior won't be quite as noticeable against the rest of your terrain. This is an optional step. And here I have a somewhat old Sharpie, and I'm just going to darken this interior using this. There's a reason I'm using kind of an old Sharpie to do this, and that is that with this particular type of paper, the ink can bleed right through and you'll see it right through the texture. So that should be good enough so that when this is being used on the table, that'll blend in a little better. I'll take a moment just to demonstrate with a brand new Sharpie what could happen with your paper. I happen to have a scrap of 110-pound cardstock and a much lighter matte photo paper. And here's a brand new Sharpie. I will just make a mark across my photo paper and across my cardstock. Despite being lighter, the photo paper is quite good at hiding the ink. There's a couple of darker spots, but for the most part, it stays white. With the cardstock, it is much more evident where I ran the marker. So you need to be a little careful if you're going to be coloring in your pieces and using a cardstock or a porous paper where the ink may bleed through. I often get my terrain printed at a print shop, and when I send the PDFs to be printed, I've actually made a separate PDF which is largely black. It turns out it doesn't cost a whole lot more to get a double-sided piece of paper printed with the textures on one side and just black on the other side. This allows me to cut out my posts and not even have to worry about inking the back side of the paper. Now we just need to apply some glue to our post. I'm going to run that glue, a thin bead of glue up that side tab, and smooth it out with my finger. And then the post should be able to fold right on top of itself. Then I can flatten it out in the other direction, and this forms a box that will attach to our tiles. And that's all there is to it, to making posts. In a subsequent video, I will demonstrate how to make walls that are going to slot into these posts, and then we'll put it all together so you'll see the terrain working in unison.